Viewers, Namaste. It's a great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to you all to Brics TV Bharat, your gateway to insightful discussions, diverse perspectives, and engaging content from the Brics nation. Stay tuned for thought-provoking dialogues and news that transcends borders. Let's embark on a journey of knowledge, collaboration, and mutual understanding together. Enjoy your stay and enrich your worldview with Brics TV Bharat. In today's episode, building upon our previous discussion with Sri CAKS Ramaprasad regarding economic disparity, examining economic inequality in India, a multidimensional analysis. Economic inequality in India represents a complex tapestry woven from income, wealth, and consumption disparities across various demographic segments. Our discussion of economic inequality delves into the multifaceted nature of how resources are distributed in one of the world's most populous nations. The analysis is anchored in diverse data sources including traditional surveys. India's economy landscape features stark contrast where rapid economic advancement coexists with persistent poverty. While macroeconomic indications suggest substantial growth, the benefits are unevenly distributed, leading to significant disparities. Wealth accumulation, particularly since the liberation policies of the 1990s, has predominantly skewed towards the top percents of population, exacerbating the wealth gap. Our discussion also highlights the role of consumption patterns as a less frequently discussed but critical dimensions of inequality. Limited data on this aspect poses challenges in understanding the full scope of economic disparity. Moreover, methodological differences in data collection contribute to varying interpretations of trends, making it imperative to approach the data with a critical eye towards these discrepancies. Our analysis quantifies the disparities and seeks to understand the underlying factors driving them, such as economic policy, market dynamics, and global economic forces. By exploring the implications of these inequalities, the examination aims to contribute to policy discussions that aspire to foster a more equitable economic environment in India. Join us, we analyze the intricacies of these disparities and explore potential pathways towards fostering a more equitable economic landscape. Joining us today is Sri CAKS Ramaprasad. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Our audience is eager to hear your insights on the economic inequalities in India. Please share your thoughts before we dwell deeper into this topic.
Oh, certainly. A country's economic development and its structure is invariably intertwined with civilizational growth, which includes tradition, custom, cultural heritage, apart from its political structure. One should analyze the economic structure in the background of history of a particular region or nation. India, that is Bharat, was an economic powerhouse till 11th century. It lost its economic superpower position gradually due to invasions, lack of internal cohesiveness, and influence of foreign culture. A prosperous and culturally rich country, its economy gradually eroded along with its decline in cultural, spiritual spheres, allowing the external forces a free hand in a land of plenty. Add to this the industrialization, expansionist colonial dispensation, imposition of alien culture and practices, and religious overbearing culminated in India, that is Bharat Varsha, to dissipate into disparate pliable regions vulnerable to external aggression and internal differences. With this background in mind, we should discuss the topic economic disparities in India. Even though Bharat, that is India, achieved its independence in 1947, ushering in a democratic centralized governing body amidst painful accession of various provinces into unified concept of India, politically speaking. Still, the basic differences are not entirely assuaged. India is committed to protect its internal principles of a liberal, secular, and robust Bharat in the context of her history and heritage With this in mind, we may approach this topic with an open mind. We cannot discuss the state of economy prevailing in the present day India isolatedly, ignoring the preeminent position that India occupied in world trade and also the ravages of history that India faced disrupting her unique position. Apart from the challenges for any incumbent government, it is to keep pace with the economic environment generally prevailing in the world on globally accepted principles with our own position in the context of facts which have been earlier mentioned. So, when we make reference to research studies, remarks or comments made by any expert bodies, we should approach that with a fine comb with our history in hindsight.
Sir, our first question to you is that what are the primary sources used for wealth inequality analysis in India?
The analysis of wealth disparity in India utilizes data from the World Inequality Database, that is WID, and the latest All India Debt and Investment Survey, that is AIDS report. The WID provides longitudinal data for historical trends, while AIDS offers detailed micro data for examining recent shifts in wealth distribution across the Indian demographic.
Brilliant, sir. How has the wealth distribution changed in India from 1961 to 2020 according to the World Inequality Distribution?
According to the WID data, the wealth share of the bottom 50% of India's population has nearly halved since 1961, decreasing from 12.29% in 1961-70 to just 6.12% in 2011-2020. Conversely, the wealth share of the top 10% has increased from 43.18% to 63.68%, and the top 1% has seen the wealth share rise from 11.87% to 31.55% over the same period.
So nice, sir. You have a very good data with you. You have gone through the concepts very nicely. Now, the question is, what does the WID data indicate about the wealth growth rates among different economic groups in India from 1995 to 2020?
Yeah, the WID data reveals that the wealth growth rates have differed significantly among economic groups. From 1995 to 2020, the bottom 50% saw their wealth grow slower than the top 10% and top 1% with a noticeable deceleration in growth rates post 2010. Specifically, the annual growth rate decreased from about 8% during 1995-2010 to around 5% 2011-2020 for all groups, but the top groups always remain ahead.
So, as per the analysis, the top 1% of the people are super rich. So, what I consider is, how does India's wealth inequality compare to other countries based on the share held by the top 10% and top 1% from 1918 to 2012?
Okay, this can be approached this way. India's wealth inequality trends show a modest increase in the share held by the top 10% around the 2000s. In comparison, the top 1% began climbing more noticeably in the same period, which contrasts with the countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, where there has been a steady increase, and China and Brazil, where there was a dramatic rise. India's trend reflects growing economic inequality and a significant consolidation of wealth among the elite, albeit less pronounced than in some other countries.
So, we are considering that India is drastically growing towards the inequality. So, in this aspect, what are the implications of the growing wealth disparity in India and globally?
Sure, we can view it this way. The increasing wealth disparity in India and globally points to a significant socio-economic challenges. For India, the concentration of wealth among the top decile exacerbates social inequalities and might hinder sustainable economic growth. Globally speaking, similar patterns in countries like China, Brazil, and the United States highlight the influence of economic policies and market dynamics on wealth distribution, suggesting a need for reforms to address the widening gap between the prosperous and the indigent.
Thank you, sir. Your insights and a deep understanding of the subject enhanced our knowledge and stimulated a keen interest in the nuances of economic inequality. The depth of information you provided was incredibly valuable and undoubtedly enriched our perspective on the challenges and complexities involved in addressing economic disparities. Your ability to present complex data in accessible manner was particularly impressive and has left a lasting impact on all of us. Thank you once again, sir,
Thank you very much.
for sharing your wisdom and expertise. We are truly grateful for the opportunity to learn from such an esteemed expert. We look forward to our next interactions where we can continue to benefit from your vast knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Brics TV Bharat. Be sure to join us in our next episode as we continue to explore significant insights into economic disparities. Stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and valuable perspective.